It must be disappointing not to be able to play the series out to a conclusion, given how, contested it's been.
Yeah, obviously we would have loved to have played a game today and see what the result was, but yeah, unfortunately with the weather you can't control that, and the forecast wasn't great for the afternoon. You just sort of hope it goes round, but it's disappointing, I guess, because I think it would have been a really good game. Both sides sort of playing reasonably well and at an amazing stadium as well, so frustrating, that's for sure.
Ahead of the series on the weekend, the least sort of suggested one of the tips the men's team had given you was that the White was just coming out of managed isolation. How have you found that over the course of the week? I guess getting used to playing.
We've really enjoyed it, to be honest. We've enjoyed a bit of freedom, and games is sort of why you play the game. So I think we've adjusted reasonably well. I guess that first game we weren't really sure what to expect, but I thought we sort of got into the contest pretty quickly, and it was certainly something we were aware of heading into the first game especially. But I think we've really enjoyed our time here so far, and I'm looking forward to the next week as well.
You're heading into an ODI series. You haven't lost an ODI in quite a while. Now that you're getting to a year out from an ODI World Cup, how much pride is there in maintaining that great winning run?
Oh, we go out there to win every game that we play, so the games coming up will be no different for us. We expect the Kiwis to come out really hard and give us a good contest, and we're going to have to play well. So we're looking forward to the challenge. It has been a little while since we played ODI cricket together as a team, so we just need to adjust into that format, I guess, over the next couple of days, and we look forward to that. It's always, as I said, a really great challenge playing for the Rose Bowl.
What is the plan over the next few days? Are you going down to the Mount or Tauranga tomorrow and training there?
We head to the Mount tomorrow, and then we'll train. I can't work out what day of the week it is, but the day after tomorrow we'll train, heading into game day, and I think we've got a morning game on the first one. So a quiet day, sort of travelling. I guess that takes a bit out of you sometimes, but we'll get ready for training and then look forward to the ODI series.
Can I ask a question about workload as well? It's obviously become significant since Sophie is sort of just has fatigue. So, given the amount of cricket you guys have at the moment, and when you include quarantine, how important sort of is that sort of rest time for you guys, and how do you sort of manage it personally, and I guess with the players in your team as well?
Yeah, it's absolutely something you need to be mindful of as a group and individually, because everyone deals with it differently. So, we have played a lot of cricket over the summer, and we've had a lot of quarantine and bubbles thrown in there as well. And not only physically but mentally, it probably takes a lot out of you. So for us, as a group, we've for a little while now we've really focused on having sort of training days and then days where we don't sort of have any cricket, and I think that's worked really well for us over the last little bit. And it's just about trying to find something away from the game that can sort of keep you grounded, I guess, and in a really good space to play. But it certainly has been a challenging year for everybody, and it's sad that Soph is not playing at the moment, and I hope she's okay, and send our best wishes to her. And you want the best players playing in every game that you can, but hopefully she's going okay.
Is there likely to be any rotation in your bowling attack over the next 3 one-day games?
Look, we'll certainly have to manage the bowlers through. The games are in pretty quick succession. I think we've said the whole way through that we might have some slightly different combinations along the way. There won't be any major changes, but it will sort of depend on how people are pulling up after the game and things like that. But obviously we didn't play today, so whether that has a role to play in the management moving forward. But we'll just look after players individually and look to pick our strongest team whenever we can.
Mel, do you want to jump in on the line if you've got anything?
Yeah, sure. Hey, Meg. One of the things I was wondering is, obviously, the left-hand, right-hand combination has been really important to you guys, and it's been successful. You've won a World Cup that way. Do you discuss a need to maybe balance that with sort of the game situation? And I guess I'm thinking about Ash Gardner in particular, about whether you balance that with maybe giving her more balls to base?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you need to be able to read the game situation as much as you can, and that was sort of something we discussed after the game. And I think whenever games are really close, you look back at little moments in the game that could have gone differently. But we've obviously gone with that for a little while, and we've got so many good batters who play slightly different styles. So it's just about trying to match it up as best you can on the day and trying to read it as quickly as you can. So there's definitely an element of that, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But we feel like we've got some really good variety within our batting that we can use at different times.
And just with the Leafs coming back, obviously sort of easing the way back into international cricket, particularly in the second match where she bowled one over, you ended up giving Darcy Brown another over later in there. Is Elise's death bowling something that you think she could actually is an area where she could improve on?
Yeah, I think all the bowlers are trying to improve on their games all the time, and ideally, if you're an option at all three phases of the game, then that sort of allows you to bowl more overs. So that's something we've spoken with Elise about. I think she's been working really hard on her bowling and consistency, coming back obviously from a serious injury. So she's still working her way back. But ultimately for me, it just comes down to matchups and the game situation in terms of who I go to at certain times. So she's definitely there as an option and working really hard like all our bowlers are.
And I just wonder what your thoughts on what it says about how much Australian cricket has developed in the year almost that she's been out. That once upon a time she would have walked straight back in, probably taken the new ball, and maybe even batted up higher in the order. So what does that sort of say about some of the other players who come in and the strength that's given to the side?
Yeah, it's really exciting for Australian cricket that we've got some young players coming in who have come in and played a role for us straight away. Obviously, the fast bowling side of things is, at the moment the area where we've got a couple of new players in Taylor and Darcy, and it's been really exciting to see. So, I think, Elise still has a really big role to play for us, but, the more variety we can have and, I think that's going to really play a big role for us moving forward. So it's been great to see those young players come in and take the game by the scruff of the neck and really be aggressive. So, from my perspective, I'm really excited about what's to come.
And just finally for me, is this sort of quite a challenge, do you think, for Elise in this stage of her career? And how do you expect her to respond to this challenge of coming back and really stamping her her presence in the side?
Yeah, Elise is extremely competitive and loves representing Australia, and she works extremely hard on her game, and I'm sure she would love to be batting higher and bowling more overs, and she's doing everything she can to be able to get herself into that position. I know she's really excited to be back around the group and excited about improving and learning new things, and that sort of goes along with what we're trying to achieve as a group. So it's been great to have her back. She's very experienced. She's a world-class player, and I hope to see the best of her in the ODI series.
Thanks a lot.
No worries.
Thanks, Mel. LJ, do you want to jump in?
Yep, sure. I guess, Meg, you've got with the ODIs coming up, and you spoke a bit about the unbeaten run, but there is a chance to set a new world record with a win in that first match. Is it something the team ever talks about, and is it really sort of something that's not as meaningful as a World Cup?
We haven't spoken about it a lot, to be honest, and on this tour it hasn't come up at all. As I said before, we go into every game wanting to win it, and these ODIs are no different. So they're really important games for us. There's a Rose Bowl at stake, and we play a World Cup game at the Mount as well. So I don't think it's going to be front and centre in any of our discussions. We need to focus on what we're going to do and also look at the Kiwis and what we're going to be confronted with. So I can't see it coming up too much. Our approach doesn't change. We want to go out there and win every game.
And with the World Cup here in a year's time, do you feel like you've been able to learn much about the conditions and about how certain bowlers might perform in those conditions?
Yeah, I think so far it's been a great learning experience for us. The wickets are slightly different. They're generally pretty true, but probably over here you don't see as many balls driven down the ground as maybe you might see in Australia. It might hold up a touch. So, we've had to assess pretty quickly. We've played at 3 different grounds in pretty quick succession. So that's been a good challenge for our group. And now we get to go to the Mount, where we're going to obviously play 3 games at the same venue, but nothing changes. We need to assess the conditions quickly and make sure that we're playing accordingly. Potentially, yeah. I think it'd be pretty exciting to see them both play in the same game. I think Darcy looked very calm the other day. She didn't look out of place at all, and we know how exciting Taylor is. So all options are on the table, and if the conditions suit and we think the balance of the lineup will work with those two in the team, then we'll certainly look at it.
Well, thanks, Meg.
No worries. Thanks, Audrey.
Andrew McGlashan, I think you're on the line.
Yeah, thanks, Lucy. Hi, Meg. I know 2 and a bit games is not a big sample size, and New Zealand have bowled well in the power play in this series, but did you feel a little bit underpowered in that phase of the game during these matches?
We certainly didn't get the amount of runs you're probably aiming for in the power play. Obviously you aim to get off to a quick start, but I think you're right. New Zealand bowled extremely well and bowled well to the conditions and adapted really quickly. So I don't think it was through lack of intent or trying. It's just sort of the way it panned out. So as I said, in an ideal world, you might get a few more off the power play, but you can only sort of play the conditions that are in front of you. And so I guess it's just something to assess as we go.
If you had managed to get the win in the second game and clinch the series, would you have considered having a look at a couple more players today, or was it always the plan to keep changes to a minimum?
I think the plan is to keep changes to a minimum, to be honest. Every game we get to go out there and play for Australia is really important, and we need to go out there to try and win it. So we'll always put our strongest team out there as all the time to try and win the game. So I dare say even if we had one in Napier, I think it would have been pretty similar.
Thanks, Meg.
Sorry, Andrew Wu, I think I missed you before.
There we go. G'day, Meg. Just a question about just back on Elise. Should we expect to see a little bit more of her with bat and ball in the one days?
She's obviously played a massive role for us particularly in ODIs over the last 5 years. She's got an exceptional record and is very well experienced in that format. So she'll sort of. I dare say she will play a bigger role for us. There's obviously more overs to bowl as well, so she'll get a chance throughout the ODI series. And as I've said, she's been working really hard to get back into form. She's coming back from a serious injury, so I think from what we've seen of her in this series so far, it's been really exciting. And looking forward to seeing her play in the longer format.
I suppose, and I guess the longer format probably suits her batting a bit more as well, where she can sort of be that accumulator who can bat long periods in the inning.
Yeah, potentially, and I think people who can bat for long periods of time and make those sort of match-winning contributions are extremely important to have in your side, and Elise has shown over a long period of time that she can do that. So, she'll play a really big role for us in the ODIs, as she has for many years, and looking forward to it.
And on that world record, I know you haven't really spoken too much about it as a group, but I mean, would it be an honour though to be able to break that record? Ricky Ponting's team was a very good one, and it stood for a long time as well. Would it be an honour to have it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's Ricky Ponting's obviously a great of Australian cricket and world cricket, and they had a pretty amazing team. And if we were to be able to break that record, it would be a great achievement for the group. Those wins have come over a long period of time as well. It hasn't just been a year or so. It's been a 2 or 3 year block. So I think that shows we've had some really good consistency. So while it's not something we're focusing on, if it was to happen, it certainly would be a great achievement.
Thanks, Meg. Good luck.
Thank you.